It's Thursday, June 18th. In the headlines, the government moves ahead with One Road Authority plans. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang clarifies U.S. migrant agreement. In business news, Pizza Hut to expand to Cumberland, Portmore. Regionally, St. Lucia's Education Ministry addresses social media limits for minors. And in sports, Jamaica's top female sprinters set for 100 meters showdown at national championships. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. The government is moving ahead with plans to overhaul Jamaica's road management system. The proposed One Road Authority is expected to streamline responsibility for Jamaica's roads by bringing key agencies under a single framework. During his contribution to the sectoral debate this week, Minister with responsibility for works Robert Morgan said the move is intended to address long-standing issues, including fragmented oversight, inconsistent maintenance standards, and weak coordination across parishes.
Cabinet, Madam Speaker, has approved the establishment of the One Road Authority. That's right. Despite what you may have heard, the One Road Authority is not here to weaken local government. It is not to remove the importance of parish-level responsiveness.
Minister Morgan says the new body will serve both as an implementer of national road projects and a regulator for all roads, absorbing the functions of the National Works Agency, NROC, and the Toll Authority.
The objective is to create a clearer, stronger, more coordinated national framework for road planning and standards.
A key feature from the reform will be the creation of a Jamaica Road Register, a national database designed to track road ownership and conditions while allowing citizens to report damaged roads through a mobile app.
Yes. Where finally Jamaica will have a database of every road, who owns the road, what's the condition of the road, and persons will be able, through our app, to submit pictures and tell us what the condition of the road, if somebody has damaged the road, so we can respond.
The minister also outlined ongoing investments in road rehabilitation and capital projects, while promising a greater accountability in road maintenance programs.
I recently, as a policy directive, issued a memorandum to the National Works Agency to ensure that we govern the quality of asphalt, the way contractors are patching the road, the supervision that is being done in the road maintenance programs to ensure that the public gets value for money.
National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang is defending the government's agreement with the United States to temporarily host third country nationals being repatriated to their home countries. Danita Rodney has more in this report.
Speaking in the House of Representatives this week, Dr. Chang sought to reassure lawmakers that the individuals will not be detained. They will remain in Jamaica only briefly, and that safeguards are in place to manage their arrangement.
Individuals in the States are not detainees. Let me indicate to all. They are not detainees, so there is no need to, they're not putting in any of the existing correctional center or otherwise place. Accommodation will be found, and that's part of what has been worked out in the operationalization of the MOU. But they are not detainees, and they'll be free to move around. They'll be landed by the minister's permission, as the Minister of National Security responsible for immigration. They'll be here for a short time only, and during the time they are here, they will be funded by the government of the United States through the International Organization for Migration.
The minister revealed that Jamaica has agreed to receive up to 25 third country nationals on each flight. However, a trigger mechanism has been built into the agreement should too many remain on the island.
Third country nationals, we have negotiated a situation where we take 25 on each flight, but if they choose, if they find a way to stay. We have to treat them under international law. And while they are here, under those conditions, no additional will be taken in. The 10 is a trigger point that if 10 stay back, we stop the acceptance and review the management of the program. That's what the 10 means. So 25 come on Monday, and we expect within a fortnight they would all go. The rate currently is about 94% from the other countries that they have been to. If, however, 10 of them choose to stay, we have the right to stop the shipment or the flight coming in. The MOU is very clear. Either side can stop at any time without notice.
Responding to concerns about transparency, Dr. Chang said while the memorandum itself will not be tabled in Parliament, the operational procedures governing the program will be made public. He also pledged periodic updates as the arrangement unfolds.
The MOU itself is not a secret document, and I guess if we ask, we'll release the contents, but we don't normally table those agreements in the House. And there's no reason to treat this one indifferent. But the operational procedures will be made public and can be tabled in the House.
The National Security Minister maintained that the agreement was negotiated by Jamaican professionals in keeping with international law and Jamaica's long-standing partnership with the United States, adding that either country can suspend the arrangement at any time. Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I am Danita Rodney.
The British Jamaican Chamber of Commerce was officially launched in Montego Bay this week during the 11th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference, with the aim of strengthening trade, investment, and business relations between Jamaica and the United Kingdom. The Chamber will support micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, diaspora-led businesses, and companies seeking opportunities in both markets. The organization will function as a business incubator and networking platform, providing mentorship, business development support, export readiness training, legal and consultancy services, investor engagement opportunities, and access to professional networks in both countries. The results of the 2026 primary exit profile examinations will be released on Monday, June 22. That's the word from the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information. According to the ministry, primary schools will receive access to the results at 12 noon, while parents and guardians will be able to view their children's results online from 2 p.m. through the DPIS online portal. The total of 31,806 grade 6 students sat the examinations on April 29 and 30, including 15,964 boys and 15,842 girls. Of the candidates, 27,375 attended public schools and 4,431 were enrolled in private institutions. Students completed curriculum-based tests in mathematics and language arts on April 29, followed by ability tests in verbal and quantitative reasoning on April 30. The PEP examinations are used to assess students' readiness for secondary education and determine placement in high schools across Jamaica. The Ministry of Education says efforts are underway to tackle students' absenteeism in communities hardest hit by Hurricane Melissa. The response comes amid reports that nearly half of the grade 11 students at Magati High School in St. Elizabeth have not returned to classes since the storm. Regional Director for Region 5, Susan Nelson Smith, says the ministry has been actively working to re-engage affected students and support their return to school. We have more details in this report.
Concerns are mounting over student attendance at schools in St. Elizabeth following the impact of Category 5 Hurricane Melissa. with Magati High School reporting that nearly half of its grade 11 cohort has not returned to classes since the storm. Principal Sean Graham says the issue reflects a wider challenge across the parish and is calling for stronger government intervention to get students back into the classroom.
We send our counselors out daily, especially after the hurricane. The most that our counselors can do is, one, to find the students and to encourage them and their parents to return. But we are not empowered by law to do anything apart from encouraging. But I think the state needs to take a greater look, whether through legislation or enforcement or just getting the correct people to position themselves to ensure that the students are in school. By law, students under a certain age should be in school, but if it's not enforced, then there's nothing that the school can do. And schools especially, I know, are facing similar things. We have Roger Clark, Sydney Playground, and Lacovia as schools within close proximity to Magadi. And I know in our meetings and interactions, the high schools face this challenge.
The Ministry of Education says it remains concerned about student truancy, particularly in Region 5, but insists efforts are underway to track and re-engage absent students. Regional Director Susan Nelson-Smith says the ministry is actively working to locate those who have not been attending school.
Student absenteeism has been a major concern of our principals and our guidance counselors. Fact is, the principal may have given that figure based on the students that he is not seeing at school on a regular basis. The ministry, we have been doing the best that we can. We work closely with the schools. We have what is known as a Child Find Initiative, where we go in the community to actually go to the homes to find the children, to engage the parents, and to find out what exactly is preventing the parents from sending out the children. The problem, though, is when we go to some of these communities, we cannot find the parents, we cannot find the children. When we call them, numbers are no longer in service.
Mrs. Smith-Nelson also adds that there is no need for alarm as the schools are managing the situation.
So I don't want it to be said that it is an alarming situation. Based on our data, it is not an alarming situation anymore. It exists, but I see where over time our schools have been successful in finding their children. This situation is being managed at the school level. As I said, we have an active database that the guidance counselors share with the regional team so that we have that information. Once contact is made with parents and the reintegration process takes place, we are updated on that.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing you the developments shaping markets, capital access, and business decision making across Jamaica and the region. Let's get into the stories that matter. On the heels of the announcement of Pizza Hut's global operations being sold by parent company Yum Brands, the local franchise operator is moving ahead with plans to expand the brand in Jamaica. The local expansion comes as Pizza Hut's international operations face challenges, leading Yum Brands to sell the global business to long-range capital for US $2.7 billion. Restaurants of Jamaica, led by Mark Myers, is investing 180 million Jamaican dollars to build a new Pizza Hut restaurant in Cumberland, Portmore. The new location will become the 16th Pizza Hut outlet in Jamaica and the 11th outside of Kingston and St. Andrew. The investment forms part of a wider $500 million expansion program by Restaurants of Jamaica to grow its Pizza Hut and KFC franchises locally. Kingston Creative announced the launch of the Create Tech Incubator. This is an incubation program designed to equip early-stage creative entrepreneurs with the tools, mentorships, and networks needed to build innovative, impact-driven ventures that leverage AI and new technologies. The Create Tech Incubator is delivered as part of Connect to Caribbean, an initiative of the Carib Equity Facility, co-founded by IDB Lab and the European Union. The program will run from July through November 2026, with training sessions, mentoring, and culmination in a demo day. Over 4 months, they will cover problem identification, customer discovery, value propositions, business model design, and financial sustainability. In addition, training in AI and new digital technologies will be delivered to ensure that creatives are applying technology to their businesses. For the trading period of June 16, 2026, the most actively traded securities were Kentire Holdings Jamaica Limited with 15,557,044 units, representing 32.41% of market sales activities. Jamaica Teas Limited with 10,634,939 units, representing 22.15% of market sales activity. Dollar Financial Services Limited with 6,147,316 units, representing 12.81% of market sales activities. Investor activity remained concentrated in distribution and finance plays, signaling continued interest in dividend-producing and strategic assets. Turning to the foreign exchange market based on Bank of Jamaica data for June 17, 2026. Forex traders recorded significant activity with strong demand across major currencies. Trading margins for the US dollar reflected steady liquidity, with the US selling at $158.62 and buying at $157.11. For the Canadian dollar, moderate gains supported by 61-cent transaction spreads. The Canadian dollar sold for $113.32 and was bought for $112.71. For the British pound, continued volatility offered short-term trading opportunities of $1.51 in profits for the banks. The British pound sold for $212.46 and was bought for $210.95. These movements underscore the importance of cash flow timing and currency awareness for businesses managing import costs, debt servicing, or overseas exposure. For our credit report tip of the day, many professionals spend years building their resumes, expanding their networks, and investing in education. They understand the importance of credentials, experience, and reputation. Yet one of the most powerful assets influencing their future opportunities often receives very little attention: their credit profile. A credit score is not simply a number used by banks. It is a reflection of financial behavior, consistency, and trustworthiness. It can determine whether opportunities move quickly into reality or remain out of reach. The most significant career and business opportunities often appear unexpectedly. A business owner identifies an acquisition opportunity. A consultant wants to expand into a new market. A professional is offered a position requiring relocation. An entrepreneur needs equipment to fulfill a large contract. Or a property investor discovers an attractive investment opportunity. The challenge is that opportunity does not wait for perfect timing. Those who can access capital quickly are often the ones who benefit the most. This is where a strong credit score and healthy credit report become strategic advantages. For our funded and focused feature, many entrepreneurs become highly skilled at generating revenue. They understand customers, operations, sales, and service delivery. What they often do not understand is how wealth is created beyond the operating business. The world's wealthiest individuals are rarely compensated primarily on their labor. Instead, they benefit from ownership of companies, ownership of intellectual property, ownership of real estate, ownership of investment portfolios, ownership of systems that continue generating value long after the original work has been completed. This is where many business owners continue to encounter a hidden ceiling. So they're excellent operators, but not yet strategic owners. The transition requires a different set of tools. Not more hours, not more meetings, not more volunteer commitments. And that's today's Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing clarity to capital, markets, and strategy. Until next time, stay informed, stay intentional, and keep building forward. See you soon.
In regional news, in Antigua and Barbuda, a bill aimed at strengthening regional border security and improving the monitoring of passenger movements is now before Parliament. The proposed legislation would require airlines and shipping operators to share passenger information with authorities, while also establishing safeguards to protect travelers' personal data. We have more in this report.
Foreign Affairs Minister E.P. Chet Green tabled the bill. He says the changes are intended to strengthen regional security cooperation by allowing authorities to better track passenger movements and identify potential threats before travelers arrive at their destinations. Under the proposed law, airlines and vessel operators would be required to submit passenger information and booking records to local authorities. The information could then be analyzed and, where necessary, shared with approved counterparts across the region. Central to the new framework is the creation of a passenger information unit, which would bring together senior law enforcement personnel and data technology specialists responsible for reviewing and managing passenger information. The bill also creates the post of Data Protection Officer, a role intended to safeguard travelers' personal information and ensure compliance with data protection standards. Although the officer would report to the Chief Immigration Officer, the legislation provides for the position to operate independently. The officer would also have access to regional counterparts and authorities within the CARICOM Implementation Agency for Crime and Security, known as CARICOM Impacts. The bill also sets limits on who can access the information, while allowing it to be shared with authorized foreign authorities in certain circumstances. Travelers would not be required to submit information directly, but their data would be processed through airlines and shipping operators as part of standard booking and check-in procedures. The legislation introduces penalties for operators who fail to comply, including fines, though they would have the right to respond to allegations and appeal to the High Court. Alicia George for ABS News.
As several countries move to tighten restrictions on children's use of social media, St. Lucia's Education Minister, Kenson Casimir, says the responsibility for monitoring young people's online activity should remain primarily with parents. His comments come amid growing international concerns about cyberbullying, screen addiction, and children's exposure to harmful online content. More in this story.
As countries around the world grapple with the impact of social media on young people, questions are now being raised about whether stronger safeguards are needed to protect children online. At Monday's pre-cabinet press briefing, Education Minister Kenson Casimir weighed in on the growing international debate following moves in the United Kingdom to restrict social media access for users under the age of 16.
I think there is a balance that is required. Information technology is very critical to the maturation of individuals and the marketability of young people. I mean, I use TikTok, I use Instagram, I use Facebook, all with the different reach to see how it is that it can, augment some of the efforts I'm making. And I think in the use of information technology, and if we are going to gravitate towards making it mandatory, a huge part of that is the responsible use of that technology. As to whether or not this government is minded right now to say you cannot use social media until you get to the age of 16, we have not gotten to that point. We continue to appeal to each parent to govern their child.
St. Lucia's Education Minister has placed the responsibility squarely on parents to monitor their children's online activity, enforce appropriate boundaries, and guide their use of social media.
You do need the actual policing of that. And again, we don't necessarily need the outside police to do that. I think we as parents need to take responsibility and police what is going on. At some point, at any random point, grab the phone, grab the device and see what's going on to ensure that discipline is always adhered to in the household.
Casimir stressed that parents must remain vigilant and take an active role in safeguarding their children's digital footprint.
You govern and you say, hey, until you get to 18, some would say until you get to 20, you are not allowed to use your device and have any social media. Certainly, that has been my position when it comes to my children. We have that age that we've agreed until I realize that you are mature enough to engage in social media usage, you are not allowed to.
The United Kingdom joins a growing number of countries moving to restrict minors' access to social media. Australia, China, Indonesia, and Vietnam have already implemented varying levels of age-based restrictions, while several other nations have passed legislation awaiting full enforcement. Across the globe, concerns continue to center on cyberbullying, screen addiction, mental health impacts, and the risk of children being exposed to online predators and harmful content.
In sports, we're out the block with athletics. Jamaica's national senior and junior championships are set to deliver one of the most anticipated races of the season when the country's elite female sprinters contest the 100 meters this weekend at the National Stadium. The race is set to happen on June 19 and will serve as a key selection race for the upcoming Commonwealth Games and promises a high-quality battle among some of Jamaica's biggest sprint stars. Defending champion Tina Clayton enters with a season-best 10.85 seconds, while her twin sister, Tia Clayton, will be aiming to make a strong statement. Former national champion Sharika Jackson is also expected to challenge for the title despite not yet competing in the 100 meters this season. Olympic champion Elaine Thompson-Herah adds further star power to a field packed with talent. With national pride, team selection and bragging rights on the line, fans can expect a memorable sprint showdown under the lights in Kingston. JAAA Puma National Senior and Junior Championship is being held June 18 to June 21, and it is open to the public. Now onto the field with football. England and Colombia made strong starts to their 2026 FIFA World Cup campaigns on June 17. England produced an entertaining 4-2 victory over Croatia in Group L. In the same group, Ghana edged Panama 1-0 to claim all 3 points and join England at the top of the standings. Group K saw Portugal frustrated in a 1-1 draw against Democratic Republic of Congo. Colombia defeated Uzbekistan 3-1 to move to the summit of the group. With England, Ghana, Colombia all securing victories, the battle for the Golden Cup has intensified. And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.